Hey there. I am doing another Wellness Wednesday. Taping this a day early so that the content can get out there as you start your day Wednesday morning. This is part of the pro bono work that I do in my business. Just as a review, I'm Shana Myers. I am a certified rehabilitation counselor. That is a dual sided clinician that works with both individuals and business and industry. It is a skill set that is very unique because it helps me be a better systems thinker to help through companies think through process improvement and scaling workflows. Oh, I love me a good process map, things like that. But on the other side of things, I work with individuals all over the United States and the world with chronic health conditions. And, I have some individuals and clients that I work with that have worked with 20, 30, 40, 50 practitioners across the United States or the world and haven't gotten the results that they need. So I dig into solutions in the research. So it always starts with evidence based, and I work from the integrative medical model, which for those that don't know what the integrative medical model is, it's a bridge between the medical model and all of the things, all of the holistic things that are evidence-based that also contributes to radical health outcomes. And that's the model that works best because I look at the whole person or I look at the whole system. And to get the outcomes that are needed, it's typically not just one thing that is needed. Other things that I do, I am a research fellow at the Harkin Institute and for public policy and citizens engagement. I'm studying pregnancy and disability and chronic illness there. I am a adjunct professor at Drake University. I train counselors and clinicians in training on the medical model and the integrative medical model and all of the different systems of the body. And so that is why I do know about every health condition that is available and every treatment because I do teach that. And like I said, I've had to facilitate healing as part of my business for individuals that aren't healing. And so I've had to look at maybe non-standard treatment options that are evidence-based. I'm also a research and a precision medicine consultant for self-funded employers, governments, startups, proving out things that businesses are doing that are super innovative, that are getting the results within population health. And I am the only practitioner in the United States that does what I do, both on the individual side of things and on the business side of things. Precision medicine and trauma were understanding those two were the last two things that rounded out um, my experience as far as becoming an integrative wellness medical model professional and getting the outcomes there that are needed. So today, what are we talking about? There's been a study that has, I would say it's gone viral in my world. A lot of people are sharing it. They're sharing with me because they know that that's like a hot button issue. Let's move this down here. With cancer being expressed in individuals who are obese. And so we are going to talk about that today on the Wellness Wednesday. I wrote an article 4 years ago on LinkedIn. I'm actually going to refresh this article and post it on my website about 20 hot tips to get sleep. And why are we talking about sleep? It is so important as far as a link to obesity, a link to poverty, a link to the epigenetic risk factors that turn on what I call dirty genes, which are just genes that contribute to disease if they are in the environment that expresses them, which is obesity, and then lack of sleep. Those are two huge ways that these genes get turned on. And so I'm offering some solutions here for free on the World Wide Web because not everyone has access to this information. And one of my intentions this year is to make real world research go viral. And so that employers can implement things today in real time. My phone is ringing off the hook because the cat's out of the bag. Word's gotten out as to the results that the businesses and individuals are achieving. I haven't really spoken about the work that I've done for years because I have been working really, really hard with multiple businesses to be able to get to this point. And so now that I'm spreading the news and the outcome, it's things are taking off like at epic. It's like a rocket to the moon sort of a scenario over here, which is great. All right. So I'm actually just looking at some of my notes because of the article that I wrote. I did everything that I write is research. It's not just like, oh, I think this is something that's good. No, it's research based. And then that populations have used the research that I've used, and then individuals have used as well. So the research is showing that 70% of Americans are not getting enough sleep. That's the majority, and that's probably everyone that's watching this. We need to be getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep each and every night. I know that's going to shock people. That's going to anger people. And some people are going to stop watching this because just think it's not realistic. I'm telling you it is. I'm going to tell you how we get there. So not only do you need to get 8 to 9 hours of sleep, but you also need to get at least 20% or more of deep sleep per night. And sleep is so important because every bodily process is so integrated with sleep. This is where rest and digestion occur. This is where new cells regenerate. This is where our memories and how we process the day. And if we're not getting sleep, we're not even processing through what even happened the day before. A lot of times people will say, well, I can function off of 5, 6 hours of sleep. You can until you can't. And you are creating health problems, disease, and illnesses are expressing, whether you know it or not. If you're not getting enough sleep, it's happening inside of your body. And I am adamant. A lot of times people come to me and they say, I want to lose weight or I'm dealing with a health condition. And I always start with sleep every single time. I'm so glad that some of the researchers are sharing this information. There's been a couple podcasts and books that have been out there. Joe Rogan just had a sleep expert on there, and there's been several books that have been bestsellers. And I'm so glad that this information is getting out there. My whole gimmick is the paleo counselor, and I'm talking about the Paleolithic times that we have come from. Our modern culture is not set up for sleep. It is, I'm looking around in my house. I've got all of this technology. People are hustling and working harder than ever to get, to make ends meet. And if you look at populations that are living in poverty or that are working multiple jobs, getting 8 to 9 hours a night of sleep is impossible because they're trying to make ends meet. But through an epigenetic standpoint and the research that I've done there, and I do train individuals, clinicians in epigenetics and doctors and healthcare, and I'm an expert in this area. I'm telling you that when you're talking about epigenetics, there is not getting enough sleep and combining that. It contributes and causes obesity, and through your genetic imprint, 20 to 60% of your weight is tied to your genes. And so the combination of all of that together creates illness, disease. It creates heart disease, obesity, not getting enough sleep, diabetes, cancer. This has been research that has been around for a while, and it's not being shared with individuals. And so we are putting Band-Aid fixes on the diseases that are being expressed, but we're not getting ahead of it with the information. And then we're not supporting our modern culture to get sleep. And so I'm going to offer business and industry some information, some hot tips there to help your employees support sleep because it is so important. You'll notice after a night of not getting enough sleep, you are hungry, more hungry. You're going to make really poor food choices. You're going to want carbs. You're going to want fast food. And it's a cycle. It's a cycle of, I just worked a 14-hour day. I'm going to grab some fast food on the way home. I'm going to get 4 or 5 hours of sleep. And you're going to keep doing it. And unless you stop to understand and notice the cycle of how you're contributing to your own illness and put some boundaries and some habits in place, some healthy habits in place, it's going to express whatever genetic makeup is occurring. It's going to express those genes later on, and that's going to be illness. And that's one of the biggest factors is lack of sleep. I really hope that you're um, taking the writing down. I need to get to sleep. I hope you're taking the main point home here because it is so important. And I'm an individual that I struggled with sleep for a number of years and chronic illness. And I really had to hack my sleep and I had to dig into the research. And there are a ton of ways that you can do this. I do all of the things that I said. I still get 8, closer to 9 hours a night of sleep, deep sleep. And that's why I wake up every day and I am just like ready to tackle the day. I am so excited for the new opportunities each day brings, and I'm able to help bring healing and innovative solutions to individuals and businesses across the United States because I'm getting sleep. And that's because I put practices in place and boundaries in place, and I honor that. And my family does as well. We all get sleep. So I'll share some tips on how do we do that as a family. The number one thing is just create a sleep routine and a ritual an hour before. So the sunset and when that starts to occur, right now it's about 7:30 at night. This is when we're starting to put on these blue light blocking glasses. You can get these safety goggles for like 4, 5, 6, $7 on Amazon. I wear them over my glasses. Our whole family does. And that tells my body to start to produce melatonin naturally. You don't have to take it. So it'll start naturally once you get in a sleep cycle, a healthy sleep cycle. It'll start to produce melatonin naturally and develop a bedtime. When in our family, I'm going to use examples from real life scenarios. When our daughter goes to bed, then that's the bedtime routine. She has a hard bedtime, 7:30. No ifs, and or buts. She starts to get tired around then. She sleeps great. Her day's great. And the whole family starts to nestle up and head to bed at the same time. And yes, we get up very early because we're going to bed early, but that's also when the sun is rising and falling, and how humans have evolved to sleep. Set an electronic curfew. For my cell phone, there are blue light blocking apps on the computer, on the cell phone. The article does post links to this. I put my phone in grayscale, and I put my phone away at the end of the day. You should not be bringing electronics to bed or watching TV before bed. No, stop right now. Stop today. Declutter your bedroom space. Your bedroom needs to be a welcoming environment to honor sleep. And if you have just piles of clothes and clutter, that's not really promoting sleep. So clean your room up. Consider white linens. That's another tip. That's why you see that in hotels. It just looks fresh and crisp and clean, and it just welcomes you. So really take time, this next weekend to clean up your bedroom. And if you want to invest in some nice linens, that'd be a really good ROI. Limit caffeine. I say think before you drink. Limit caffeine and alcohol before bed. If you notice that you're needing to have a lot of caffeine throughout the day, there could be some things going on with your health, but also that's not natural and it's not normal to need caffeine all day long, and especially before bed. Eat whole foods. This is going to help with digestion. That's going to help with sleeping. I mean, anything along with acid reflux. I mean, the foods have to go into it. I'm, again, an integrative medicine practitioner, and food also helps contribute to your sleep as well. Exercising earlier in the day is better than later because you're just going to get energy from exercising, and that's going to be harder to go to sleep. But I understand that fitting in exercise wherever you can um, is going to work the best. But I help a lot of people look at their day to kind of restructure the way that they do things. And exercise earlier actually helps you sleep better. It's a big shift and a big change. But once you start to implement that, that's just your new normal. And I would say, if you have a choice between exercising and sleep and you're looking to lose weight, actually you need to sleep. So go to bed instead of exercising and get those 8 to 9 hours. And once you have that down, then and only then can you start to think about adding an exercise. Otherwise, it's going to be counterproductive to the goal. Deep breathing before going to bed. So, breathing exercises, I put one by Dr. Andrew Weil, who is also at the Harkin Institute. I cannot believe I get to rub shoulders with these amazing practitioners. But breathing and meditation and mindfulness before bed is just helping you relax and really get into the groove of sleeping. I'm talking about supplements in this next point. Some of the biggest supplements that individuals can be deficient in is magnesium and vitamin D. Vitamin D, get out. I just posted on Instagram, vitamin D, get outside with most of your skin 20 to 30 minutes per day. Helps with vitamin D. We actually produce it in our body naturally, but this can help with sleep. Melatonin, or not melatonin, magnesium is another vitamin deficiency that's common in individuals that can help you sleep with supplementing with this. Melatonin is something, like I said, once you get on a sleep cycle that is naturally created in your body. However, if you're going to take melatonin or any sleep aid, you would do this at the smallest doses possible, like 1 milligram. Okay. And only do it for a short period of time until you're in the habit of getting sleep. Getting good sleep is just a habit, a healthy habit. And a lot of times we get asked about medication and sleeping. Sleep needs to be prioritized, and if medication is your entry point, there's no judgment there. However, with medication, I'm always going to say to have a precision medicine, a pharmacogenomic panel run to understand genetically which medication and which dosage that you need to be on, especially if you're on 2 or more medications. Write this down. This is very important because you could be taking a medication that is not working for you genetically, and that has downstream effects that also increases your epigenetic risk, which when I say that, that means disease, risk of disease. Blocking out the blue light, where I already talked about that. White noise and relaxing music. Relax Melodies is a great app. It's free to just play soothing sounds to relax to. A white noise, when you say white noise, you can just turn on a fan. Okay, it's something that's soothing that you can use. Keep your bedroom cooler. Consider about 62 degrees. If you keep it cooler, you sleep better. Take a warm bath or a shower before bed. Get some lavender essential oil. Put that either in the bath, or you can also put it on the bottom of your feet with a carrier oil like coconut oil. Helps it to absorb better. Also aids in relaxation. You get the theme? I'm talking about relaxing. I'm talking about winding down to honor the natural rhythms of life that have been with us as humanity from the beginning of time. Some things never change. However, I'm also going to add in the very innovative solutions such as precision medicine that is the latest. It's not latest. The Human Genome Project was in 2003. So, spoiler alert: this is actually old research. That's new, hot, and hip right now. Technology helps with sleep tracking to get deep sleep, so that you can kind of gamify sleeping and to see how well you're doing. Worrying, I talk a little bit about worrying and sleep. A lot of times people will worry that they're not going to get enough sleep, and so that worry creates a negative feedback loop and a cycle of I can't get enough sleep. Duh, what do I do? Journaling before bed, just breathing and resting in while you lay in bed is almost as restorative as actual sleep. So if you can't sleep, just still kind of stay in your bed and do deep breathing, journal, and just relax. If anything, there's going to be certain times, hormonal shifts, moon cycles, things like that, that there's just certain shifts within our internal body or our external universe that are happening that cause sleep. And if If you have one bad night of sleep, don't worry about it. You can't catch up and oversleep, but your body knows exactly how much deep sleep that you need once you are getting enough sleep. And so that is the area of opportunity. You can't actually make up for sleep. I think that's really some misinformation that's out there, but you can um, get back a little bit of that deep sleep that you missed out on the night before if it's like a one-off scenario. I do talk about shift work and sleep. It's really hard if you're a shift worker. I've worked with a lot of employers with this. When you work in second and third shift, or if you unfortunately have a shift that or shift work that's kind of sporadic, you're going to have to own the periods of your day that you have ownership of. And for some individuals, I do have to talk with them about changing their work schedule because of the shift work, because it can be contributing so much to mental health or chronic conditions or obesity, which I am including as a disease because it does contribute to so many other diseases. It needs to be a disease in itself because of all of the things that happen downstream. And unfortunately, shift work and poverty goes hand in hand. And so this is where I'm adamant with population health and working with employers that we do something to support and promote as much health that we can within the populations that are working for you. Develop a morning routine. Morning routines help with the sleep routine. It's all about routine and habit formation. There's so many other ways to really um, work with sleep, but when people talk to me like, Shannon, I want to lose weight. Shannon, I had this health condition. What do I need to do? Like, what's the one thing I need to do? And it's like, well, first of all, there's not one thing, but the place that you can start is by honoring your sleep. And the research is out there. Obesity, if you are not getting enough sleep, you are more predisposed to obesity. Now, obesity turns on the epigenetic turns on that epigenetic switch, which is, hey, dirty genes, it's time to wake up and express ourselves in the body. And that leads to heart disease, cancer, diabetes. So we go back to sleep. I'm going to go back to the root all the time to make sure that everyone really understands how complex health is, but then also how easy and the opportunities there. For employers, you can look at your data to kind of understand where your areas of opportunity to intervene with some behavioral interventions. To support your populations, looking at shift workers and um, making sure that if you can honor the health and having rotating schedules, having I've seen organizations where they've had, especially for new mothers, they have nap rooms. A 20-minute nap is great. If you find that yourself that you have to have a longer than that, like a 2-hour nap when you come home from work, something is going on, either with your sleep or with your health. That's not healthy and that's not normal. Anything over about 45 minutes with napping, it's if you're doing it on a regular basis to try to get through the day, something is going on and you really need to take advantage of looking at your schedule and your day and making some really radical changes in ASAP. It's an ASAP scenario. I hope this information is helpful on the Wednesdays. There's a lot of other strategies. It's hard for me to make these videos because I am one that tailors everything to either the individual or the population that I'm working with for an employer. And so it's hard to put blanket um, tips and advice out there because what works for one person may not work for another, and there's another way that I have to kind of get in there to help. But overall, the thing that doesn't change is human beings have we've evolved to these modern society with all these great technological innovations and all of these ways to stay connected. However, what doesn't change is the amount of sleep that we get. You can't really hack this. There's about, I forget what percentage, it's low. I want to say around 1%. There's about 1% of individuals that have a genetic variant that they sleep 5 or 6 hours a night and they're fine. They can actually find this in the research now, but You can pretty much say that that's not you, unless you have a long line of people in your family where they've always just slept. That's then maybe, but you should test that because the risk on the other side is even though you're not seeing health conditions cause today's, it's going to shorten your lifespan. It's going to cause diseases to be expressed later on in life. There's a lot of things that you can't see that are occurring in your body and to your health that are downstream. And it does start with sleep. Sleep, even over food, you need to prioritize that and getting really good rested sleep. And I've worked with individuals, families, organizations to really implement some of these epigenetic, integrative, holistic, because it's not just one thing, right? But you have to start at one place. And I would suggest that you do start at sleep, especially for weight loss. If you're not getting enough sleep and you're trying to lose weight, it's not going to work. It's hormonally, uh, your body is going to tell you that you're more hungry and you're just, your mood is going to suffer. Everything downstream from that. It's not going to work. It doesn't work. And so why would you do that? So that is my Wellness Wednesday. I am putting this out early, pat myself getting this information out there really. I want it to be when people wake up in the morning, because then you have the opportunity that tomorrow night, there could be so many people sleeping better and families that are getting on a healthy sleep pattern in populations and with employers. I'm hoping that I'm getting people to think through some of this research that there's another way. The grind will be there for you the next day, but it's up to you to put boundaries in place for your health. You cannot do and be all of these things that you need to do, all of these roles and things that you take on. You cannot do and be all of these things if you're not showing up as a whole, healthy, and healed human being. It's your time's going to run out. It's going to run out eventually. And sleep, you can start with healthy sleep today. So that's what I'm putting out there into the universe. The ripple effect is real. Okay. The more good that you put out there, it just comes back. And so that's part of the pro bono work is to get the information out there so that people can spread the word to other individuals, and that they can be healthier, their communities can be healthier because people are sleeping and eating and not turning on or not expressing genetic variants that shouldn't be expressed in the first place because of our modern society. There's ways to hack everything. There's always an opportunity to heal. We all can heal. There's always another way. There's a ton of great research. We are living in the best time to be alive is right now because of the innovation and because of the things that we already know that work, like sleep. You throw in some fun things like a sleep app or a wearable, gamify the whole thing, make sleep exciting again, dream and to process through your memories so you can move on, and that'll improve your mental health. All of these things, they're proven to do it. All right, I'm going to end this. This has gone from okay to oof. All right. So we're going to end this. I wish you wellness and health. I'm signing off.